Hey everybody, we are officially live. I'm so excited for our final workshop of the semester. Can't believe it is the final workshop of the semester. I feel like this semester has just flown by. It's crazy to think that this is the end of the semester. I feel like we did our orientation just yesterday. I mean, it really feels like this whole semester has just gone by so quickly. It's crazy. But so grateful to have been able to work with you all this semester and so excited for this. If you're watching this right now, you can fast forward by about 7 minutes. We're going to get started at exactly 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 on the East Coast, 3 on the West, or 4 on the West Coast. I'm losing track of my mind and my time. But I'm so excited to do this final workshop and really get you all thinking about really the next steps of the program, how you can stay in touch with your student, and really how you can make the most out of this mentor relationship and finish the semester strong. I'm really excited for this final kind of completion of the semester's workshop. I'm really excited to get to know how the experiences are going for you all. But yeah, thanks for being here. Introduce yourself, say hey in the comments section, by the way. We're gonna get started in just a moment. Or just a moment. By just a moment, I mean in about 6 minutes. I'm gonna put on some tunes, some music. I think that could be fun. It's just like a getting started, warmer upper. I don't know. I wonder what tunes I could find. We'll try this. I saw a cigarette contact. It was the smell of death that kept strolling in. We're gonna get started in about 5 minutes. Really excited for the final workshop of the semester. Playing some music to get everybody into a mood. Because you all know I'm gonna get you ecstatic, psyched up, loose for this mentor workshop. I'm taking a quick pause on the music. I was just thinking it's crazy. I was just saying how it feels like the semester has flown by super quickly. But the thing that really makes you consciously aware of how much time has gone between our orientation and now is just the amount of sunlight out. I mean, shoot, I remember when we did our orientation, we had it was fully sunny out, and now it's dark, and it's kind of crazy how, I don't know, the seasons change. I know that it happens every year, but I feel like it gets dark so quick so soon. I like to play basketball and tennis outside, play some sports, and I don't know, having it get so dark so early makes it difficult to do those things. So anyways, I guess when I say things like it feels like yesterday we did our orientation, there are some things that make you consciously aware of that it really wasn't yesterday. But I'll play the music again. We're gonna get started in 3 minutes. Welcome newcomers, welcome newcomers. I'm playing some music, setting the mood. Introduce yourselves in the comments section. Hey, William, welcome, welcome. William, do you like the addition of the music in the intro session as we get started? Is this setting the mood better, I guess? Hey, newcomers, introduce yourselves in the comment section. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes, 2-minute warning before we get our final mentor workshop of the semester started. You like the music? Good. That's awesome. All right, I'll pause the music. We're going to get started in about 1.5 minutes. So excited to get this final workshop underway. Like I've said this a couple times already. It feels like yesterday that we had our orientation. The semester's gone so fast, but I'm so grateful to have you all as a mentor. I'm so excited to learn about how your mentor relationship has grown and progressed over the course of the semester. In this workshop, we're going to cover a lot about how you can continue that relationship, how you can make the most out of it, how you can help your student find fulfillment and find things that are fulfilling within the things that are going on. I know it can be easy to be potentially negative about certain things. I know it can be easy to think that there's a lot of craziness going on. But for this workshop, we're just going to focus on how we can help our student find fulfillment within the things that they do have at their access. And we're going to talk about how you can be that mentor to stay in touch with them over time throughout the winter. What's up, DeAndre? Thanks for being here. DeAndre, I love your name. I wish I had drafted you on my fantasy football team. I am assuming you get that all the time because DeAndre Hopkins, for anybody who doesn't watch football, is probably the best wide receiver in the game. So you got a great name, DeAndre. And yeah, big fan of your alter ego in the wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. But we're going to get started in about 30 seconds, letting everybody jump in at the last second. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a mentor. Super grateful for you all. DeAndre, all the time. That's funny. Super grateful for you all. Hey, Landon, thanks for being here. Or hey, Dr. John DeCenzo, thanks for being here. You're on Landon Play. Best in the game. He is having a great year. I totally agree with you, DeAndre. But yeah, super excited to get started. This is final. Hey, Drina, thanks for being here. Oh, the assignment with your mentee was right on point. You're working well together. That's great. William, love hearing that. That's great feedback. Well, it is officially 6 o'clock in Austin, Texas, which is where I'm at. 7 o'clock on the East Coast, 4 o'clock on the West Coast, and 5 o'clock in Denver, Colorado. But let's get started. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being mentors this semester. Introduce yourself in the comments section. Would love just to build that community there. Love to learn about how your experience is going and how it's been so far. For this workshop tonight, we are going to talk about how you can maintain your relationship with your student even throughout the winter and beyond, as well as how you can help your student with fulfillment and just really keep staying and be there for them. Ask them questions that get them thinking deeper and more intentionally about the things that are going on in the world. That is what we're going to cover in this workshop this evening. Hey, Jeff, thanks for being here. So let's get started. So we're going to talk about the keys to being successful in your mentor relationship. Actually, but before we jump into that, please remember to input your feedback for your mentor meetings on the Ambition in Motion dashboard. Just go to our website, ambitioninmotion.com, click login. There'll be a little feedback button for your post-program assessment. That allows us to learn how your experiences was, what we can do to improve. And really, it should take about a few minutes to do that, but also offer your feedback for your mentor meetings. That lets us know that you and your student were actually able to connect and meet. That's so critical for these relationships and the success of this program. We want to know the feedback. We need to know the feedback. And also just note to take home with, if you're a mentor and you're thinking to yourself, well, shoot, my company would really benefit from having a mentor program. check us out. Consider us. Let us know how we can help. And if you're an executive for your company, we also actually have executive mentor programs. So if you're a CEO of your company, or if you're leading your marketing or sales team, or you're leading your HR unit within your company, or you're leading the operations of your team, we have an executive mentor program for those kind of 4 core areas. If you're interested in anything like that, hit us up, follow up with us, send us an email. We'd love to chat, share with you about how you might be able to get involved in our next coming cohort for professionals connecting with other professionals for mentorship. Well, let's dive into the workshop. So we're here to talk about the 3 keys to success in your mentor relationship. We covered them in the first few workshops. We're going to cover it again tonight. It is all about strategy, story, and your state. So I'm going to get you psyched up, jacked up for this mentor workshop this evening. I want you to stand up. And for the next 30 seconds, I want you to shake it out. I want you to shimmy it loose. I want you to let it go. I want you to shimmy and shake those shoulders. I want you to shake those legs. Shake that head. Let it loose. On the count of 3, I want you to scream at the top of your lungs. 1, 2, 3. Yeah! Just let it out. Let it loose. Let it go. Just pat your chest like as if you're King Kong. It gets you in a state conducive for being successful. And the reason why this is so important is because it gets your blood flowing to your brain. It releases endorphins. It gets your body psyched up because your emotions drive your emotions. So if you can get yourself into a state physically conducive for being successful in this workshop tonight, you can get yourself in a state conducive for being successful in your mentor meetings with your student. And you might think to yourself, well, shoot, they're my student, what does it really matter what kind of state I'm coming in? And it absolutely matters what state you're coming in, because it's also their time too, just as much as it is your time. If you want to make the most out of this experience, come in prepared to be excited, energetic, giving people energy versus taking it away, because it's not just the advice that you're giving that is going to make the most out of your mentor experience. It is going to be the interactions and the relationship and the communication you have between your student and yourself. And we communicate so much more in our body language and our vocal inflection than we do just in the words that we say. So the reason why state is important is because we communicate so much more with the non-verbal cues than we do with the actual verbal cues. So if you can get yourself psyched up, jacked up for your mentor meetings, you're going to have a much better relationship with your mentee. The second key is your story. What is the story you tell yourself for why you will or will not be successful? If you tell yourself a story that, hey, you know what, I can't possibly be a good mentor because of this reason or that reason, you want to know what? You're creating a mentality. You're creating a victim mentality. You're essentially telling yourself why you can't be successful, and you won't be successful because of that. You're not going to magically fall on success with the negative mentality. But if you come and telling yourself, you know what, hey, I can grow from this. I might have some shortcomings. I might not be the perfect expert in this category or that category. That is okay. It is completely okay. In fact, it's okay to admit it. In fact, that exercise of being vulnerable about saying, you know what, I may not know the answers to all of these questions. By admitting that, you are showing so much about your own leadership, your own strengths, and your own abilities than by trying to feign like you know all of the answers. I think that's that's a big key, that when Socrates was questioning the people of Greece, it frustrated them. But when he was proving like, hey, if you admit that you don't actually know everything about everything, it makes you humble, it makes you human, it makes you so much more relatable. But the point is this: when you can actually tell yourself, you know what, I can ask questions, I can be inquisitive, I can give advice based on the things that I do know, I can be the best possible mentor I can possibly be. That is going to do whirlwinds. That's going to do so much more monumental things for you in your pursuit of having a successful mentor relationship. So tell yourself a positive story, a positive narrative for why you can make a difference, even if there are some things that you might not be perfect at, because you want to know what? There's no such thing as the perfect mentor. It's just people working to be better, to give the best advice they can give, to ask the best questions they can give, and just constantly work on being inquisitive and supportive. And that's really your best role in being the mentor. And the last key is the strategy. What are the things that you can do, the things that you can try to be the best possible mentor you can be? And this can be maybe making introductions for your mentee. This could mean maybe potentially providing them with an opportunity to volunteer. This could maybe mean connecting them with a meetup group that's intriguing to them that you know of. Because, everything's virtual right now. There are so many webinars, many of which are free or many of which are low price. Maybe you can find a way to connect them and plug them in to opportunities for them to learn and connect and network even when they can't meet in person. Because shoot, those that are connecting virtually are the ones that are going to take advantage of the opportunity that all these virtual meetings and webinars have happened and have occurred since this time period of COVID. So that's just another way of looking at things. So being their mentor, one, just being there for them is so awesome, because so many students don't have this, especially now that they're not necessarily doing classes in person anymore. Having that personal connection to somebody like you can be monumental in their own growth and development. And that's so crucial. So just being there and just showing up, I think what's the saying, like 99% of success is just showing up. Literally just by being there for your student, you are doing seriously amazing things. We know that students who have mentors are nearly 3 times more likely to thrive in their lives than students who do not. By being there for your student, even if you don't necessarily know how you're positively impacting your student, by having the conversations and being there, you are making an impact, because a lot of students don't even have just somebody to even chat with. So I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the impact you're making. I'm grateful for the work that you're doing in your volunteer time with these students, because it really is meaningful. So I wanted to give you kudos. I wanted to do that. I also want to cover the 3 keys to success in the mentor relationship. I'm going to take a quick moment to pause, see if there are any questions or comments in the chat section. Taking a water break. Hey, Hennessy. Hey, Dr. Wallace. Hey, Dr. Christine. Hey, Tanyetta. Thanks for being here. All right, it looks like we don't have any questions. It looks like we did have a question, but it looks like it's being answered by Megan, my colleague, who's awesome, who's managing the chat area. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments or anything at all, post it in the chat section. I'm going to continue on to the next segment of this workshop. So next segment of this workshop are continuing your relationship with your student even after the formal program is over. Don't get me wrong, the semester is great, and that's what you signed up for, and that's awesome. But you want to know what? Mentorship relationships, I almost consider it as like building an internal board of advisors. I would love if you could continue to be that board member for your student even after the mentor relationship is over, because we know that continuing the relationship, it's like red wine. It gets better with age. So take the time, if you can, to continue building this relationship with your student. And you want to know what? There's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. Sometimes students need to take some time off. Sometimes they come back in your life. Just be there for them. Be supportive. That's the best way you can be a mentor, is just to be there for them when they need you, and you can support them, because sometimes it takes a little bit of maturity to get to that level where they realize what they don't necessarily realize what they had now, but they realize it at a later date. And if you can still be there for them, that's a huge and a very humble position to be in, and a humble way to act in that circumstance. So in terms of keeping this relationship going, schedule a call. What I'd suggest is after this meeting, after your next meeting with your student, say, hey, you know what? I'd love to continue this relationship even after the semester is over. What are you doing in late December? What are you doing in January? Would you be open to doing another Zoom call just to connect and continue building the relationship? See how that goes. I mean, really just suggest it, because sometimes students are bashful. Sometimes students are introverted. Sometimes students might think to themselves, well, why would my mentor ever want to connect with me even after the program? Like, this is more than what they signed up for. And in reality is because we like it. I mean, it's a really fulfilling and really rewarding way to spend our time by mentoring another person. And so ask them. Sometimes it just takes that person to ask the question, to stimulate the conversation, to stimulate the next steps and catalyze the continuation of those relationships. The other question I'd suggest asking is ask your student how you can help them next semester. I mean, we're going through COVID right now. We don't really know if we'll ever have in-person internships again. We really don't know what the future holds for work or anything for that matter. Ask them how you can help them next semester. It could be introductions. It might be connecting them with other people. It might be connecting them with webinars or online presences that you know of that you think they might benefit from connecting with. I mean, shoot, whatever you can do to help. And you know, they might not take you up on that. That's okay. But if they do, it could really change their world. I mean, shoot, I just got off the phone with a guy who started a really cool VR company. And he was in a scenario where he graduated college. He started the VR company in college, but it was more like a hobby to him. And he was doing that. And then eventually he got flown out to LA. They offered him a job, but it was at a really low paying job to, you know, not necessarily do that much. And it wasn't just the right fit for him. And his mentor ended up connecting him with a venture capitalist who ended up putting some money in investing in his company. And now he's grown it. He's recently raised like $4 million for his company, and it's a budding startup. And it's incredible to see how he's grown and built it. And it was all through the relationship of a mentor. When a door you needed to shut for him, or for him to realize that, you know, this wasn't the door he wanted to walk through, another door opened. And by being there for them, by trying different things, by offering them different opportunities to connect. They might not take you up on it, but they very well might, and it could change the rest of their lives, really. So I just learned that story. It's fresh in my mind. I figured I'd share it just to show the power of having a mentor and being in those mentor relationships. One way of also identifying potential connections that, sometimes knowing who the right introduction might be, sometimes it's difficult to come up with because it's not necessarily on the top of your head. One thing that I'd suggest is say, hey, student, here's one thing I'd suggest: go to my LinkedIn profile, look at the people that I'm connected with. If there's anybody that I'm connected with that you think you'd like to connect with, let me know and I'll make an introduction. And that's a great way to do that. And also be transparent. Say, hey, I may not know everybody I'm connected with on LinkedIn. So come up with a big list. Come up with a list of like 10 to 15 people, because chances are I might not know everybody, but I might know 5 of them. And if I do, I'd be happy to make that introduction. That's a great way. So then they can be specific and you can know exactly who the right person is to introduce them. But also be transparent. Say, hey, I might not necessarily know everybody I'm connected with on LinkedIn, and that's okay. Just, let them know and say, come up with a big list. All right. So now we're going to move on to the next part. How can you help your student find fulfillment? It's a really big kind of, it's a meta kind of thought to think about when you think about the question, how do I find fulfillment? I mean, shoot, some of us might be trying to find fulfillment. And so when you're going through these questions with your student, maybe ask them to ask you these questions too. But there are 5 core questions I really like to go to and ask students when it comes to just helping them find fulfillment. The first is, what rewards await you from moving through this challenge? It's a great question to ask because it allows students to start thinking about the prize, the thing that we're working towards, what we're spending all this time on doing anyways. I mean, shoot, if we're just going through the motions because we think that's what we're supposed to be doing, but we don't actually have an idea of where we'd like to be, it's going to be really difficult to motivate ourselves to get through the hard stuff. And this might be something you're going through as well. Maybe you need to reinforce this. Ask yourself, what rewards await you from moving through this challenge? The second question I like to ask is, what will be the cost of failing to work through this challenge? The reason why this is a great question to ask is because people are going to do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. I mean, if you tell yourself like, hey, what rewards are waiting for me from moving through this challenge, it's maybe it's I can have a house, or I could start a family, or I could buy a car, or whatever I'm trying to work towards. And that's great and all, but what's the cost of failing to work through this? The cost is, I might not be able to provide for my family. I might not be able to provide for my parents. I might not be able to live the life I want to live. I might not be able to travel the world in the way I want to travel. I might not be able to do the things I want to do in my life. By understanding the consequences, it might help light that fire under their butt to go ahead and work towards making it happen. The third question I like to ask is, what might be the impact of your actions? It's a great question to ask because it helps create a tangible outcome for what they can achieve from the actions they take. See, sometimes we have these big, hairy, audacious goals, but we don't actually set a plan for getting there. We don't actually know how we're going to go about getting there. So by having them lay it out for you, saying, hey, what might be the impact of your actions, that can get them to create more specific bite-sized chunks that might help them get closer to achieving that outcome that they seek to attain. So by saying what might be the impact of your actions, it gets them thinking about smaller steps that can help them get to the outcome, versus saying, oh man, like I totally had the idea for that crazy new innovation. Like I totally had the idea for commercial space flight, but Elon Musk took it. You can't say that, because if you haven't actually put the time into actually building a space company, there's no way that you can say that, oh, I had the idea first. Having the idea first means squat when it comes to actual implementation and making it a reality. So when it comes to fulfilling and turning things into fulfillment, it's all about what can you do? What is the impact of the actions you can take today? The fourth question I like to ask is, what will be the impact of not taking any action? Back to that give and take. If I don't take this action, I might not be able to hit this smaller bite-sized chunk step. If I don't hit the smaller bite-sized chunk step, I might not be able to hit the outcomes that I want. And I might be in this potentially perilous position where I am not providing for my family, or I'm not able to live the life I want to live. So it gets them thinking on a deeper level of why do I need to act right now? Why is this important? Why is it important for me to get started immediately? And then the fifth question I like to ask is, what are you willing to commit to so you can make a change? This is the most important question to ask in all the 5 questions, because this gets them started. This gets them helping them hold them accountable. This gets them thinking about, okay, I need to do this. If I want to do this, I need to start today doing XYZ thing. And as their mentor, you can help by asking them about it, by checking in, by following up with them. Because when we share a goal with somebody else, it all of a sudden becomes part of our identity. It becomes part of the way we see ourselves. And if we think to ourselves like, shoot, I'm a person who follows through on the things that I say I'm going to do, we're going to want to continue to identify ourselves with achieving those goals. This is why it's so easy to let goals that we only keep to ourselves fall by the wayside, while it's way more difficult to do that for goals that we've shared with other people. The point is, what are you willing to commit to today? Ask them, commit to that. Tell them to put it out into the ether. Make it not generic, make it specific. And if you do, you're much more likely to achieve that outcome. I'm going to post these 5 questions in the comments section, so then you can have them. You can use them as you will. You can change the order if you want to. I just like to ask the most important questions last. I have posted them in the comment section right there. Awesome. So the final step of the program this semester, complete the post-program assessment. Essentially, please try to complete that by no later than December 10th. That's when we're going to close the option for you to complete your post-program assessment. So you've got a couple of weeks to do that, but please, please, please do that. This is the feedback we need to know how we can improve our program, how we can make our program better. And it's a really big part of how we can improve ourselves. So that is it. That is the finale of our workshops this semester. Once again, I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to work with you all. It has been an amazing experience for me to get to know your stories, to know your experiences, to know how you're going through this mentor experience. I love hearing the stories about the things that are positive. I also love learning from the experiences that can allow us to improve our program. Without you, this program cannot exist. I'm super grateful for you all. And I'm so grateful that you're willing to be here, because I know that obviously if these students are going through difficult things with COVID, I know you are probably as well. The fact that you're willing to take the time to help these students is amazing. It's incredible. And it's extremely impactful. And I wanted to let you know how grateful I am for you. So anyways, thank you all for being here. This is incredible. I love the community that we're building in the comment section. If you've got any questions, or if you've got any comments at all, please post it there. If not, we will end our workshop this evening. Thank you all for what you're doing. Thank you all for your time. And I hope to see you as a mentor again next semester. The program continues to grow. The program continues to develop. And, you know, I always, like I mentioned before earlier, if you're interested in potentially leveraging mentorship within your company, or if you're an executive, you like to have a mentor yourself, we've got programs for you. Just reach out to us. I'd be happy to walk you through it. I'd love to chat with you about it. But this has been awesome. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be thankful for something. Think about things and people that you're grateful for. I'm grateful for you. That's for darn sure. Hopefully you're grateful for your student, and I'm excited. You know, it's funny. There's the little things that we can be grateful for, and things that we take for granted. And there's a lot of things that I'm grateful for. Many of which is for all of you. So thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great final meeting with your mentee, but make it not your final meeting. Work on scheduling follow-up conversations even into the winter and spring semester. But thanks for being here, everybody.